EVgo just put out their Q3 earnings report, and the results look really good, but they're not quite as good as they may seem to be on the surface. They reported revenue of $35 million in the third quarter this year, which was up 234% over the same time period last year, and there is no denying that that is absolutely incredible revenue growth that EVgo has had, especially considering what has been going on with other EV charging companies and the overall EV industry, with growth not being quite, very good over the past year. So to see EVgo with this 234% year-over-year revenue growth, that is absolutely incredible. But EVgo's revenue would not be this high if you excluded the Extend side of their business. And for those who aren't familiar with EVgo's Extend business, it's basically hardware sales, very similar to what ChargePoint does. But because EVgo is simply selling the hardware rather than owning and operating it themselves, the way the revenue shakes out for that side of EVgo's business is completely different than how it works for the chargers they're owning and operating. For the chargers they own, EVgo is generating revenue from the sale of electricity to EV drivers. So that is a pretty consistent revenue source that grows over time as more EV drivers are on the road and as EVgo continues to expand their charging network. But on the Extend side of their business, where they're selling that hardware, those customers are paying EVgo for those chargers, and they're basically getting revenue up front. It's not something that's spread out over the long run. It's not recurring revenue. It's more of a one-time payment sort of situation. As far as I know, there's only been one major order placed on the Extend side of their business, and that came from Pilot Flying J. EVgo has been fulfilling that order over time, but once they've completely fulfilled it, I don't know of any other customers that have placed orders on the Extend side. EVgo doesn't seem to have made any announcements for that as far as I can tell. So it seems like it's just been this Pilot Flying J order that's been generating all of this Extend revenue for EVgo. In fact, the Extend revenue they just reported for the third quarter this year is only a third of what it was just the previous quarter. But this is still a pretty new business for EVgo, so maybe they're still in talks with some other companies that are looking to purchase some of EVgo's hardware, but they just haven't materialized into orders quite yet. At the very least, it seems like the revenue coming from the Extend business is going to continue to be very lumpy for the time being, so it's not something I can really get a good idea of where it'll be 1 year from now or 5 years from now. It's still too new, and we haven't really seen consistent numbers from that side of the business yet. All this being said, EVgo's traditional business of selling electricity to drivers still had very strong growth over the past year. When you exclude Extend from their total revenues, the growth comes out to be about 175% over the past year, which is still very impressive growth. But although EVgo's revenues are growing at a phenomenal rate, the company still isn't profitable, and I have several concerns with the financial situation they're in right now. So be sure to check out my recent video covering that. I'll see all of you over there. Thank you guys for watching.